What's up, folks? This is Cyclomania. Today we're going to talk about changing flat tires, replacing the tube, and we've chosen the back wheel because it's harder to work with. So what you want to do first is drop the gear to the smallest ring, which is the highest gear. So once you've dropped it down, the next thing you want to do is pedal to make sure that the chain goes to the smallest ring. Following this, just simply flip your bike upside down, and now if you have a 15 mm nut to be removed, use your tools. In our case, we have a quick release, so we're going to use a quick release to release the tire from the back. Now, part of the reason why we put this upside down is so that we can disengage the derailleur cage and make it easy to remove the back wheel, and we're doing this so that you find it easier to do the front wheel later on. So you disengage the derailleur cage from the cassette and boom, the tire comes out very easily. Now we just put the tire down on the flat surface and start working with it. In my hand I have 3 yellow levers. These are tire levers to remove the tire. So the first thing we do is remove the valve cover and use one of the levers to actually remove all the air from the tube. Remove as much air from the tube as you can so that the tube comes out easily and you're able to use your hand to remove the bead from the walls, from the wheel walls. Now you use a lever. Okay, normally if the bead is very tight in, you put 2 levers about 6 inches apart. But if the bead is easy enough to work with, you can put them 10 inches apart and lock them to the spoke, and then just start working with them just like that. So you see that, you lock them to the spoke. Normally if it's an easy bead, by the time you get the 3rd lever in, everything is smoothly coming out. Alright, so now that we're done with this, we'll remove the tube. And if you're going to fix the tube, no problem, keep it aside and work with it. But first, make sure you use your hand and run inside the tire. Run your hands inside the tire, feeling for any thorns. If there are any thorns, they will poke you. So you remove them. Of course, if you're a person that bleeds profusely, don't do this. Now get a new tube, air it a little bit so that it's easier to put the tube in, and always start with the valve side first. Put the tube in, little bit of air, start with the valve side first, open the tire so that you can put the tire over the tube. See that? Once you've got the tire sitting over the tube, then push the tube inside all around, and it becomes easy to work with later on. Just make sure all the time that the arrow that's on the tire indicating the rotation direction is correct. In this case, the tire is supposed to rotate just like my fingers are showing. Next is you make sure you start putting the bead in from the valve area and going out. And then when you reach to the end, don't rush to use your tools yet. First, go ahead and open the tire a little bit further out and pull this in, pull the beads in. Why? This way the tube does not get pinched between the tire and the wheel. Now once this is done, we are sure that the tube is between the tire, it's inside the tire. Then we can use a lever and everything is done. We're ready to air our tire and go riding. On some bikes, it's better to first put the tire onto the frame and then air it. On some bikes, you can air the tire regardless. So now to guide it back, we put the chain on the smallest ring, just like so. At the same time, we pay attention to the right to make sure that when we lift this cage, the brake will fall right into the place between the brake pads, and boom, everything is in. So this is how easy it is to put the tire back in. If you follow this method of making sure that the gears are all the way down, go ahead and tighten your wheel, tighten the skewers, whatever you need to, and start airing your tire. In our case, this tire can take from 35 to 65 psi, but we are going to only air up to 60 psi. Our pump actually allows us to do that marking, and that's why we've done that. So go ahead and pump. Once we're done, we can just inspect again. Through the process, we can inspect the tire actually to make sure that nothing is coming out. We've pumped what we needed, and now we are ready to go.